Okay, Zach in Sanford, Florida. Zach's been waiting a long time. I appreciate your patience, Zach. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. I'd like to wish you a very huge 3-year listener, first-time caller, former bleeding heart liberal, single father, ditto, sir.
Thank you
for everything you do.
Thank you very much.
I'll jump to the point. And happy birthday if I didn't say that. It's a very long dittos there. But anyhow, I was wanting to discuss the educational system. I've studied history for nearly 8 years. I started in 2007, and I've noted a degeneration in the educational system in Florida, having been to a private institution and a state institution. I just want to say that it seems that the educational system is becoming nothing more than a funneled process of victimization. We learn how to hate ourselves and how not to.
Oh, we just lost his line, but that's a great point. Do you have his number by any chance? Did you hear what he said there? We learned how to hate ourselves. He's talking about what he has seen, how history education is degenerated. He called it nothing more than a funneled process of victimization. We learn how to hate ourselves. And that is so right. Part and parcel of being one of these leftist victims, particularly a college student snowflake, is self-loathing. And, when people throw the term around, everybody knows what it means, hating self. People, that doesn't make any sense. Why do you think these people hate themselves? It's not that they hate themselves. It's that they've been taught how rotten their country is. And they then think they bear responsibility because they are Americans. And that's where the phrase, "not in my name," comes from. Martin Sheen, I'll never forget, used it all the time when he would go out on cold nights in Washington and kick homeless people off of their sewer grates and sleep on the sewer grate himself to show solidarity with the homeless. And the media would show up because he was doing a great humanitarian thing. He was kicking homeless people off of their one source of warmth, taking it for himself to generate sympathy and how much he cared. And he would stand up and say, "This is outrageous. Homelessness, not in my name." And these professors, they get to these kids by telling them how rotten their country, how rotten their parents' generation has been, and how rotten their grandparents' generation was. And so they create a bunch of self-loathing people who end up hating the fact that they are Americans because of what they've been taught America has done. So he calls it a funneled process of victimization, learning how to hate themselves or ourselves and become victims. But that's just the starting point. Then it descends even further, the education, history education, into what the transgressions and the grievances this country has committed to unfortunate people around the world. This is best illustrated to show you how this evolution has taken place by this observation. You go back to World War II. Now, granted, in the 1940s, we were not, and never have been, by the way, 100% unified. It's never been the case since the days of the founding, pre-Constitution, pre-Declaration, post-Declaration Constitution. We've never been perfectly unified. But there have been, throughout history, there have been events that caused us to all bind together. World War II was one of those. And what was it? What was the bind? What was the thing that caused everybody to come together to win that war, both in Japan and in Europe? And what it was the country. We were all proud Americans, and we were proud to be on the team. We were honored. It was something special to be an American. It was something you celebrated and you did not take for granted. And it's something you wished for as many as possible, the American way of life. And it's what kept everyone bound together. Well, we don't have that anymore. I dare say that should there be any event requiring America to come together, what is it that we all have in common anymore? You could find it back in World War II. By the way, this is not a wish to go back there. That's not my point. I'm just illustrating how we've evolved. What is it? Around what or whom would all Americans come together today to defend the country or to take pride in being on the team? It was really the immigrants that came and were being assimilated in the 1940s. They were proud to be on this team. They were proud to be drafted, if you will. They were proud to make it to the immigration system. They were proud to become citizens. It was the greatest achievement in their lives. It was one of the things they were most proud of. We don't have that today. And one of the reasons we don't is what this last caller said. We're teaching self-loathing in college. We're teaching how not to be proud of America. Instead, we're being taught, our kids, some of them are being taught to feel guilty about being Americans on the basis of what they are being taught that America has done. The sins that America has committed, the outrages that America has committed. So when you succeed in taking away from any American that love and appreciation for being an American, you've taken away a lot. And now it's gotten to the point where a candidate like Trump comes along. Make America great again is somehow bad. Make America great is somehow phony. Make America great is somehow nationalist and populist, and we can't have that. Nationalism is nothing more than what, white racism? What caca? So now trying to even get back to where we have something as Americans in common, just one thing that would unite us in circumstances of need, we may not even have it anymore. And when people try to rediscover it, recreate it, it's mocked as populism or nationalism, as backward thinking, as neophyte. The new way is globalism. The new way is not loving your country. That's so yesterday. And a lot of this has been accomplished on campus with our illustrious faculty and their marvelous instruction of young skulls full of mush.